through the wide open doors. They say that literature gives you license, so I could, for instance, make them turn around the Penrose stairs in perpetuity, going neither up nor down, or both at the same time. And indeed that's pretty much the sense we get from books. The time of words, compact or fluid, dense or impenetrable, stretched out, granular, halts movement and leaves us mesmerized. Our heroes are in the palace for all eternity, as if in an enchanted castle. They are thunderstruck from the outset, petrified, frozen. The doors are simultaneously open and shut, the fanlights worn, dangling, smashed or repainted. The stairwell gleams, but it is empty. The chandelier sparkles, but it is dead. We are everywhere in time. And so Albert Vogler climbed the steps to the first landing, and there he raised his hand to his detachable collar, sweating, dripping with perspiration, feeling slightly dizzy. Beneath the large gilded lantern that lit the flights of stairs, he straightened his waistcoat, undid a button, loosened his collar. Perhaps Gustav Krupp paused on the landing as well, giving Albert a compassionate word. A small apothegm on old age, showed a little solidarity, in short. Then Gustav went on his way, and Albert Vogler remained there a few moments longer, alone beneath the chandelier, a huge gold-plated vegetable with an enormous ball of light in the centre. Finally they entered the small salon. Wolf Dietrich, private secretary to Karl von Siemens, dawdled for a moment near the French windows, letting his eyes linger on the thin coat of frost dusting the balcony. For a moment he escaped from the petty intrigues of this world, born on cotton wool. And while the others chit-chatted and puffed on their Monte Cristos, jabbering about the cream or taupe colour of the wrappers and whether they liked their cigars smooth or spiced, though all of them were partial to fat ring gauges, absently squeezing the fine gold bands. While all of this was happening, Wolf Dietrich stood daydreaming at the window, wavering with the bare branches and floating above the Spree. A few steps away, admiring the delicate plaster figurines decorating the ceiling, Wilhelm von Opel raised and lowered his thick round glasses. His family was among those that had risen over the generations, going, through promotions and accumulations of estates and grandiose titles, from small landowners around the municipality of Braubach to magistrates, then burgomasters, until Adam Opel issued from his mother's indecipherable entrails and, schooled in the tricks of the locksmith's trade, designed a marvellous sewing machine that marked the true onset of their glory. In reality, Adam invented nothing. He got himself hired by a manufacturer, kept a low profile, then made a few improvements. He married Sophie Scheller, who brought with her a substantial dowry, and named his first sewing machine after her. At that point, production soared. It took only a few years for the sewing machine to realize its potential, enter the mainstream, become part of everyday life. Its true inventors had come along too early. Once the success of his sewing machines was a fait accompli, Adam Opel branched off into velocipedes. But one night, a strange voice slipped through the half-open door. His heart felt cold, so cold. It wasn't the sewing machine's actual inventors come to beg for royalties, or his workers demanding their share of the profits. It was God claiming his soul. He had to give it back. But companies don't die like men. They are mystical bodies that never perish. The Opel brand continued selling bicycles, then automobiles. Already at its founder's death, the firm counted 1,500 employees, and it kept growing. A company is a person whose blood rushes to the head. We call these legal entities. Their lives last much longer than ours. And so, on this 20th of February, as Wilhelm ruminated in the small salon of the palace of the President of the Reichstag, the Opel Company was already an old lady. By now it was just an empire within another empire, bearing only a distant relation to Adam, the patriarch's sewing machines. And though the Opel Company was